Sure. I just want to say congrats to Todd Whitting and his ball club. Obviously, didn't end the way they wanted to, but great team, great competitors, obviously, and was proud of how we played and pitched it well. Tommy did a great job and got some timely hitting. So I'm looking forward to getting to bed.
Raise your hand, we'll start questions. Starting over there in the front. And then we'll go to Jamie, right over there.
Coach Swayshaw Center broke the triples record for the program. What's it mean for him to just continue to be playing through the injury he had with his face?
Yeah, it's awesome. I think, well, he's got a triple-double now, right? I think 10 homers, 10 doubles or more, and double digits in triples. So now he needs to get a stolen base and get double digits in that. Yeah, I mean, it's a special player, obviously freshman player of the year in our conference, and just proud of how he overcame. He had a tough start, for a freshman, and just since that day, really after the first couple weeks, he's been a mainstay in our lineup at the beginning, and he sees a lot of good pitches because Cole's hitting right behind him.
Okay, go ahead.
Tom, this question's for you. Really kind of grinded out the last few starts, but today it looked like everything was clicking right from the first inning. Just what did you do this week to try and mentally prepare for postseason play?
Yeah, I think that me and some of the coaches kind of went back to the drawing board and tried to. Coach Lowe's had me go back and rewatch a couple starts, kind of see not what had changed, but just kind of the mentality, and had me look at certain things. And it wasn't all mechanical. It was kind of getting back to the breath, getting back to the mental focus, just trying to slow the game down. And I think it makes it really easy whenever my defense is playing like they were today. Anthony Silva throwing balls behind his back, just the offense has been so unbelievable. They give me a run in the first inning that takes the pressure right off me. They did a great job of hitting such a great staff, and the Big 12 pitcher of the year, putting some runs up off of him. So I thought that they've really kind of put me in a relaxed position, and I thought they did a great job of calming me down.
Jackson Bauer, KTCU. Congrats on the win, guys. This question is for Coach. Ranked 24th in the country, 19th in the RPI. Did you feel like you had to win at least one game here to get a last hosting bid for the national seat?
No, not really. I think our resume speaks for itself, and obviously when you accumulate more wins, it helps it out. We really haven't been concerned with where we're at in the RPI, where we're at standings wise, what we have to do. We're just showing up, playing good baseball, and because that's what you get wrapped up in that stuff, then you're thinking about the wrong thing. So we just wanted to show up today and try and go 1-0, and that's the same thing we're going to try and do tomorrow. And but I think the resume is the resume. I think it's deserving. I think it's I think it's something that when the committee looks at what we've done this year and the way we scheduled, I think a lot of times when you look at what you're trying to do with your schedule, I think Fresno State ended up finishing second in their conference. San Diego won their conference. Southern Miss, I think they're 2-0 in their tournament right now. I think they finished maybe first or second in their conference. And then we had the Globe Life with Kansas State, Arkansas, and Michigan. So you're looking at 4 weekends where we scheduled really good opponents to put ourselves in a position to be able later in the year to host. And I think, we've done that. We've been consistent throughout the year. And I think we're more than deserving of getting one of those 16 hosts.
Congrats on the win tonight, guys. This question's for Coach Saarloos. Could you provide any sort of insight or perspective on what you saw with the Colton Griffin incident back in the second? And is it accurate that he's probably going to be suspended for tomorrow?
Well, he's definitely suspended. When a position player gets thrown out, they have to serve a 1-game suspension the next day. And he plays with his hair on fire, and he was excited to get on base, bases loaded, and pass the baton off, and he said F because it hurt, because it hit him in the elbow, and then he turned around and said, "Let's go." And I'm not sure what happened in between all that. I guess they thought they heard something different. Unfortunate for sure, because that's somebody that obviously we want playing tomorrow. And I know there's in postseason play, you have a lot of people that are amped up, ready to play the game, and I didn't think he needed to be ejected. I thought a warning would have been fine, but I'll just kind of leave it at that.
Back over over there.
Cole, Coach talked about you hitting after Sawyer, but you also hit before Franco. So what's it kind of do for you in the lineup, just being surrounded by them?
Personally, it's great. You know, you got two freshmen that have been getting it done for us all year. I kind of figured out my role of, you know, I'm not the biggest power dude on the team. I kind of let those guys handle that business. But, you know, just doing my job of, you know, trying to move guys around. And, you know, Stroh does an amazing job of getting on base, and he gets in scoring position for me. So kind of just knowing my role of, you know, I don't have to do too much, especially with him hitting in front of me and Franco hitting behind me and Brunson and really the rest of our lineup behind me. It takes the pressure off of me, you know, knowing that we have guys that every day get it done for us in our lineup. So it really is just a big relief.
Cole, can you just talk about that fielder's choice where Silva went behind his back? How prepared were you for that baseball?
I mean, I would like to say I'm prepared just because knowing Anthony, I mean, he gets to every ball, it feels like, you know, so when that ball was hit up the middle, first thought in my mind is, you know, we're going to turn this, but he ended up making a phenomenal play just to get there. I think that's who he is. I think he's the best defensive shortstop in the country. I don't think it's really close anymore. But just, I mean, it's unreal to play next to him. You know, he makes the routine plays so routine, and he makes the hard plays routine as well. Like, it's a real blessing that we have him at shortstop, and, you know, and whether he's gonna flip it to me or he's gonna toss it behind the back, he's getting it done regardless. So.
Back.
Coach, you guys enjoyed some success against Kansas not too long ago. What have you seen from them recently, and what makes them challenging?
Well, they're really good. You know, Fitz has done a phenomenal job, obviously, as the coach of the year in our conference. And, you know, they have a lot of transfer players, and it's hard in this day and age in terms of getting, you know, a whole group of 40 individuals to play together as a team. And he's done a really good job with that group of getting them to play hard and play together. And they're really offensive. You know, they've proven that all year. They're resilient, and their arms are really good. I mean, they run out 3 really good starting pitchers and a couple guys out of the back end. So, you know, we did have success against them early in the year, but, you know, they're playing really good. They went into West Virginia and who was our champion this year, regular season, and swept them. And obviously a big hit in the game today to get it back to a 6-6 game, I think, at that point, and then to win that game against Oklahoma State, who's playing as good as anybody as well, and deserving to be in a regional. So it'll be a fun game. It'll be a great game. 2 really good teams playing against each other, and you know they knocked us out last year. If I remember correctly, they knocked us out last year, and we've seemed to play really good baseball against one another. And I'm excited to get on the field, watch our guys compete, and get after it, and against a good ball club.
2 more, there and then there.
Coach, before we get out of here, happy birthday.
Thank you.
And I just wanted to get your thoughts on the impact of the freshmen in this lineup. There's a reason they set a Big 12 record for most freshmen from one team in the all-freshman team. Just speak on their impact.
Yeah, I mean, it comes down to Coach Delara. You know, Coach Delara, our recruiting coordinator, who I think is the best in the business. And, you know, he has his fingerprints all over it. And, you know, it was in the middle of July, it was a little bit nerve-wracking, wondering if we're going to get these guys to campus. You know, because they had professional baseball opportunities, and we were able to do that. And I think, you know, there's a bunch of different ways to build a roster. And, you know, if you look at our lineup, basically every single guy, with the exception of maybe Tony, is gonna be back next year. You know, and then you look at, we did that on purpose. And then you look at the portal, you know, a lot of our guys that we got out of the portal are sophomores, so we'll have them next year. Tommy and a couple other guys, and Unk over here, the old man, we get another year back. So he'll be back next year as well. So for me, it's, there's a lot of hard work in recruiting battles and getting these guys committed, and then following through on what we talked about when we recruited them. And that was, you know, we're talking to Stroh, hey, we're planning on you playing right field or wherever it may be, but we're planning on you playing. And we're not gonna go in the portal and go get an outfielder, because that's your spot. We want you to be out there every single day. You know, and the same thing with Noah and Brass and Nolan Baumler and all those guys in terms of getting those guys to come in, but then also giving them opportunities, and sticking with them and making sure, because we feel like that's the best way to build a program. Is it's tough to hit on the portal every year. And what we try to do is supplement our roster with portal players, right? But you got to build it on players that you can have for 2 or 3 years to get the culture that you want. So I'm just excited that they're going to get to enjoy what they came to school for. And they, we were at 3.2 as a team in terms of our GPA, so they're killing it in the classroom. And then also postseason play is pretty darn fun. And that's why they're here, and that's what part of the reason that they did come here is to develop and enjoy college baseball, and I think they are.
Final question over there.
Tommy, the beginning of the season was supposed to be a two-headed monster rotation of you and Ben Abel, but he went down with the injury, and you've kind of stepped into that Friday night role, become a top pitcher in the country. What does it kind of say about you to be able to just step into that role and continue to deliver?
Yeah, well, I mean, I don't think that I deserve most of the credit. I mean, like the coaching and the development that I've received from other players has been unbelievable. Like, Ben Abel, I mean, he's one of the strongest dudes I know. To be able to handle that injury the way that he did and still be such a leader to so many of our young guys, and being able to kind of head that bullpen and keep dudes calm. And I mean, Cademan has been a great job of kind of leading this staff, and I mean, we call him fearless leader because he's ready to go at all times, and he's always bringing energy. And I think we've done a good job of kind of listening to all our pitchers and trying to learn from each other. And I think that we've gotten a lot better and gotten a lot tighter as a group. But I mean, I owe everything I have to this coaching staff and all my friends on the team. I mean, it was not just a me thing.
Hey guys, thank you.